vehicle is ongoing. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
In recent weeks, Milwaukee police have had trouble with addressing street takeovers that are happening on city streets. Retired Milwaukee Police Sergeant Patrick O'Donnell tells Wisconsin Midday News that the street takeovers today are tame compared to the takeovers from the early 2000s.
What we found was issuing citations meant nothing because they just didn't pay him. Big deal. Okay, give me a $500, give me a $1,000 ticket. I'm not going to pay it. Who cares? So then it turned into, now we're going to arrest you. It was catch and release unless you had a warrant or you had a pistol or you had some dope on you or, where you literally had the garage at District 7 where it was like fishing. You catch and release them.
O'Donnell says the best way to end the takeovers is to impound the vehicles themselves and put them in the towing lot. Reversing the decision to close the UW Oshkosh ROTC, the Army announced early this summer that the ROTC program at UW Oshkosh would end. Lieutenant Colt Jonathan Dorian tells our partners at NBC 26 the unit will be part of an extended branch of the Marquette University ROTC program.
Essentially what that means is an extension unit. We are going to reduce slightly in the number of active duty Army personnel that are assigned to the organization.
The decision to have Oshkosh to be extended branch of the Marquette University program was the result of public feedback encouraging the ROTC programs to stay active on campus. Celebrating 150 years of the Milwaukee Fire Department.
Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky tells WTMJ he's highlighting safety while having fun.
I have to say, watching the sprinkler demonstration, it always impresses me. Any firefighter here has been in those fires numerous times, and if we didn't have to go do that, it would represent so many more lives safe and healthier are still with us.
Saturday's anniversary event spread the word about fire safety measures, including a demonstration about sprinkler systems and smoke alarms. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:03.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Group of Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers win their second game of the series against the Cardinals 9-8. The final game of the series is today at 1:10. Our coverage begins at noon. Badger football loses against Alabama 38-14. Their next matchup is against Maryland next Saturday. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 South near State Fair Park down, or near the zoo down to Greenfield area is closed down. There have been instances where there are a lot of traffic backup near this area, so just be mindful of that. The I-41 is kind of in a construction overhaul right now, so just be mindful that that area is closed. Otherwise, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Dense fog advisory for most of southeast Wisconsin until 10 a.m. Today, any fog lifting through the morning, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 77 near the lakefront, 83 inland. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 62. Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 78 near the lakefront and 83 inland. Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 80 near the lakefront and 84 inland. Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 81 near the lakefront, 85 inland. Thursday, partly cloudy with a chance of showers or storms with a high of 80. Right now in Madison, it's 64. In Green Bay, it's 59. In Waukesha, it's 65. And in Milwaukee, it's 64 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
Oh, Nazir, I think that was an understatement.
Yeah.
41 is kind of close.
Yeah, it's a bit of an overhaul, construction overhaul. I tried to make it sound a little dramatic.
It is a mess, and especially, if you're planning on going to AmFam today for that game, and after last night, who wouldn't want to be at AmFam today? Yeah. But, if you are headed westbound, it is going to be a mess.
Yeah, you said you take that
on
route.
94. I do. Yeah. I do take that route, and yesterday I didn't, because I had to come in for a few things, and on my way home I decided to avoid that mess. And I would highly recommend that anybody who is going westbound on 94 today from the city out towards Waukesha County and beyond, you might want to think about a different way to get there. Because it's not a good thing, considering it's a weekend. So traffic isn't even very heavy.
Tomorrow,
but if you're going to the game today, I'd leave early for the game anyway.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of tailgating out there. And I know Mark Hort in a few minutes is going to have some highlights from that game. And boy, what a game it was. Before we get to anything else, and I've got a guest today, I'm going to tell you about this one. It's a very moving guest. I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you what we talk about in just a couple minutes, but it's 8:09, and it's time to recognize an everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead with the story.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's Morning News celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today seems like a good day to go back in time. Everyday Hero celebrates the absolute best in people. That random lady or that guy who just so happened to be in the right place, who did an extraordinary thing, saved a life or lives. There are a million stories of bravery from the September 11th attacks, but one that always sticks out to me is that of Wells Remy Crowther. When the planes hit, it was absolute chaos. There were people in the upper reaches of the South Tower that would not be able to get out. The stairways were jammed, clogged, or destroyed. It was so difficult to even move. It was hot. You couldn't breathe. You'd either stand up and die from smoke inhalation, or you'd burn to death. Those who survived say they had no idea what to do, where to go. They were in darkness, but they heard a voice.
It was just this guy, and I don't know who the guy is, that was just in the doorway. And all you heard him say was, "Over here."
Wells Remy Crowther, a kid in his 20s, just a finance worker. He was wearing a red bandana.
There was a story from people that got out, survivors, that somebody helped them, that he had a red bandana over his mouth and his nose. They didn't know who he was. They couldn't see his face. We didn't know whether it was it a myth? Was it something that people imagined?
He took charge. He told people, "Follow me, come this way." We talk about this all the time, right? Someone who leads in a moment of dire circumstances. The man with the red bandana was leading.
It's the way that he said it. We just got up and we just followed.
He even carried one woman down the stairs.
In that first group, Wells had carried a young girl over his shoulder. because she was in shock.
This audio is from a documentary called The Man with the Red Bandana. You can see it on YouTube. Just text the word hero to the WTMJ Saturday Unlimited talk and text line. We'll send it to you, 855-616-1620. Wells Remy Crowther was last seen running up the stairway into the smoke to help others. He would not survive. However, he's credited with saving up to at least 18 lives.
Without him, that particular moment, I would have been crushed or buried.
Thank you to Wells Remy Crowther and to all those everyday heroes that day on September 11th, 2001. You will never be forgotten. Everyday Heroes, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Eric, once again, a very moving everyday hero story. And, you know, this was a tough week because, of course, it was the 24th anniversary of 9/11. For a lot of us, that brought back many memories of what that time was like and the emotions that we felt on that day. But the day before, we felt new emotions, and that was with the horrible, horrible murder of Charlie Kirk. Whether you liked him or not, whether you admired him, doesn't matter. It was a terrible, terrible, horrendous tragedy that occurred. And a lot of people have been talking about Charlie Kirk, and whether you knew who he was before, certainly now you've heard a lot of things since. A lot of people admired him. A lot of people didn't like him at all. But how did he begin? How did he get to be the person he was, the firebrand who went out there and talked to people? Well, yesterday, I talked with somebody who met Charlie Kirk when he was just a 16-year-old high school student. And they became very, very close, so much that he says Charlie Kirk was like a son to him. And we're going to talk with him. You're going to hear that interview at noon at 9 this morning. And I think you're going to hear things about Charlie Kirk you never knew, and you're not going to hear anything anywhere else. So you definitely want to stick around again this morning on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. Also, our consumer expert, Michelle Reinen, warned you about those tech support scams, and believe it or not, they're still going on. You'd think by now people wouldn't fall for them. Well, guess what? They still do. Timothy Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal is going to be here. He's going to talk about that movement that could be happening with lane expansion in Waukesha County. Sandy Max is back, and she's been spending some time with the gentleman of Downton Abbey. We've got that. Also, we'll take a look back at the week in review. Isaac is here pushing those buttons. Nizer Spencer is in the newsroom, and in just 2 minutes, it's Mark Court with Sports right here on WTMJ. Today, it is going to be on the sunny side once that fog clears out. And if you are west, there is a lot of fog out there. But sunny the rest of the day, then 77 near the lake, 83 inland. Right now, 67 degrees at 8:15 on WTMJ. Right after this, Mark Horton Sports.
Talk about value. When it comes to casual dining, I can't think of a better value out there. If you're looking for a way to stretch your family's dining budget, come to Marty's Pizza, where feeding your family won't cost you an arm or a leg. You know, we're reasonably priced, and that's how it's going to stay. That's why we've been around so long. We offer a quality product at the right price. Italian dinners, subs, sandwiches, salads, and of course, 100% real mozzarella cheese pizza. Find us easily online at martyspizza.net.
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Get the best quality Dutch Boy paints for your painting project at Menards. Max Bond Plus exterior paint and primer is designed to stand strong against weather extremes. It provides max adhesion, hide, and performance while repelling rain in just 90 minutes after application. And with Dutch Boy's high-performing paints that last, transforming your home has never been easier. Save big money on Dutch Boy paints and head into Menards to get your paint project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. The Brewers faced the Cardinals in a nail-biter last night. After a tough start, the crew was able to tie it up in the 9th inning. Once they got into extra innings, the magic happened.
And the 2-2. And a liner into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Around third is Durbin. Here comes the throw home. Durbin slides in there safely. The Brewers walk it off in 10. Andrew Monasterio with a 10-pitch at bat. An RBI single into right center. And the Brewers clinching the playoffs earlier today. Put an exclamation mark on it here tonight.
The Brewers beat the Cardinals 9-8 and are headed to the playoffs. They have one more game in their series today before they take on the Angels here in Milwaukee. First pitch today is at 1:10. Our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up here on WTMJ. And the Badgers football fell to the Crimson Tide in Alabama last night. They lost 38-14. They face Maryland at home Saturday, September 20th. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. I'm Mark Hort for WTMJ Sports.
What a game.
Yeah.
Well, we were at the game on Friday night, and that was a good one, too. But last night, and of course that was broadcast nationally, so everybody everywhere got to see the magic of the Milwaukee Brewers. And wow. So
it must have been great to be at the game last night. Just I can imagine the energy there. That would have been awesome.
And, you know, the interesting thing is this is not the only time they've had a comeback like that this season. That's happened more often than not. And to see it once again, amazing. And, by the way, if you are going to the game today, especially if you're coming from the East, 94 is going to be real backed up because they got that project going on. So just keep that in mind. And I would leave extra early today, especially if you're going to do some tailgating. It is 8:19. We've got 67 degrees at WTMJ. We're going to have a nice day today once that fog rolls out, getting up to about 77 near the lake, 83 inland, and a lot of sunshine. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we've got Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal. And speaking of those roads, they're actually talking about widening 94 as you go out to Waukesha County. He'll tell you about it right after this on WTMJ.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
It's time to check in with Tim Gibbons. He's the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And Tim, we've been talking a lot about these luxury apartments in St. Francis, and you've got even more news about that.
Yeah, it seems like these are popping up a lot more recently. I was looking at some data earlier today. The area is in the top 10 in the country for apartment building, and these luxury ones obviously are finding an audience. So the St. Francis plans is coming from M&R Development, which is a Chicago company. It's one of the largest new multifamily developments along Lake Michigan in quite a while. It's the second luxury apartments that M&R has done, and they say their first one had really quick lease-up period that people very much jumped to lease those.
Unbelievable. So when do they think they'll actually be able to have people move in?
It's going to be a bit. They've broken ground on the project and started work, so it's not going to open, though, until late 2026. But people can start leasing them this fall, apparently, so if you want to get a jump on that. You mentioned the luxury side of things. This just caught my interest. We were looking at the plans. You know, it has a lot of amenities, but all of these have a lot of amenities. You know, they all have a dog park sort of thing. But this one comes with a Zen garden, which is not something I have to... A Zen garden. So if you want to just sit and be, you know, contemplate the world a little bit, there'll be a space for it.
How big is the Zen garden going to be?
I mean, it's not huge, but it's a nice little outdoor spot.
Okay, we'll move on. How about the Edison Tower? That's that big wood structure that they've been working on downtown. Is that going to have a Zen garden?
It's not, but it's going to have some other stuff focused on wellness. So that's the 31-story mass timber tower. As listeners probably know, Milwaukee very much has become a big player in that mass timber construction space. And construction on that is continuing. The new information there is kind of some of the amenities that have been put in there. There's a big focus on health and wellness. So there's going to be a spa, there's going to be a pool, but there's going to be a primary care health clinic, which is interesting, that if you need a doctor, you can just go downstairs sort of thing.
It'll be perfect if they just add that Zen garden. All right,
So the thing that grabbed my attention there is there's going to be a bathhouse on the outdoor terrace.
A what?
A bathhouse where you can do cold plunges, and this goes back to my been in the city for a year, but I don't know. You told me cold plunges in Florida is one thing. Cold plunges in Milwaukee, I don't know, man. That takes some definitely a certain level of something.
In January, February, just go out and jump in the lake for a couple minutes. All right.
Exactly.
I want to talk instead about Associated Bank because they've got some expansion plans that they're finally sharing.
Yeah, so this is interesting to me. The Associated Bank has been growing, and their belief is that basically they've gotten a formula that works. You know, they're based in Green Bay, but their focus is kind of the Chicago, Milwaukee, that area, Minneapolis have been key cities for them. Their push now is to look at some cities further west. They opened up a Kansas City area operation earlier this year. They opened up in St. Louis in, I think it was April. So looking at Omaha, looking at Denver, looking at more locations in Kansas City is very much a focus for the bank as it continues to grow.
Well, speaking of going west, one way to get to places like Kansas City is on I-94. And you had a story on Friday about the proposed widening of 94 in Waukesha County.
Yeah, this is something that people in Waukesha County just very much have been pushing for years. This is the space where 94 drops from 3 lanes to 2, and as you can imagine, as more traffic is on that highway, it gets congested, there's more accidents. It very much is a roadblock, no pun intended, to people moving through that area. So people in Waukesha County have been pushing to have a study done to see if widening would make sense. In the latest budget, the governor vetoed money that would have done such a study, basically saying, look, you should go through the Department of Transportation. They have a process, go through that process. So now a bunch of business interests in the county have come together to push the Department of Transportation to do this study. The process they're following now maybe makes it more likely that that study happens. And you really do have a whole range of people. You have some of the really large manufacturers like Generac. There's 2 of the unions are supporting it. Just a bunch of different people led by the Waukesha County Business Alliance, bringing together all these different organizations.
And the federal government under Trump, it does seem as if they are interested in working on these roads and getting them in better condition and doing things like expansions and widening.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, this is not an administration necessarily that you would expect a different push on the transportation front when people push for light rail or studies of more transit-oriented things, not necessarily the best timing for that, but highway construction obviously is a little more welcomed now.
We are talking with Tim Gibbons. He's the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Very interesting story about fraud that you had in the Journal this week. And can you break that down for us?
Yeah, this case goes back a whole number of years and involves two Milwaukee area investment advisors who had been found liable for civil fraud a couple years ago, and now the final judgment was issued where they had to pay $27.6 million in this fraud case. Some of that money might go to the victims, about $16 million of it, but the details on that are still being worked out. Another $11 million goes to the U.S. Treasury, bringing to an end this case that goes back, as I said, a number of years.
Interesting one that we'll have to keep our eye on, and I know you're doing that at the Business Journal. Another story, and a lot of people are concerned about this, and that is the changes to the PAP sign.
They are, and this would be a great question if we had visuals to get your take on this. Think of that sign. What color is it?
Is it red?
Well, it's red, but technically it's orange red. This is where the entire thing has become a thing. So the people who own the sign have been trying to change the lights on it from neon to LEDs. The neon is expensive and difficult to repair. It breaks more often. Basically, they want to modernize it. The problem is that the LED lights are red and the original color is orange red. And if you care about historic preservation, those details matter. But after many, many months of debate, the decision has basically been made that, close enough. For most people, they're not even going to see a difference.
I don't know. Maybe I'm colorblind, because I'm one of the ones I don't see a difference.
I have worked in print for a long time and have worked with designers, and sometimes we'll have these conversations of, we don't want it to be green, we want it to be more blue-green. And I'm like, man, honestly, I think there's only like 8 colors. Everything else is just made up.
So what are you putting
red.
a new?
What's that?
What are you putting a neon sign outside the Milwaukee Business Journal?
We'd have to do LED. It's hard to get neon these days.
I think you're right. Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. It's always great to talk with you.
You as well.
And neon's really expensive, too. It's $8.28 on WTMJ.
There I was outside doing some yard work when I noticed my neighbor looking over his windows. He's climbing up and down his ladder, and I hear him holler to his wife, "Honey, we're going to need a few new windows." So I took a walk over and said, "Hi, Ron, do you mind if I take a look?" He said, "Go right ahead." And I said, the window itself, which is the framework to the glass here, looks fine. And the sill, which is the bottom of the framework, that's fine too. It's the glass that needs replacing. The seal must be broke, and that lets in the moisture we're seeing. That's why your windows are fogging up. And he said, "So I don't need new windows?" And I said, "No, actually, if you want, I can have the glass replaced, and they'll basically be as good as new. And believe me, it'll cost you a lot less than replacing these." This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. These days, it feels like there's advice for everything. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. But how do you know what actually works for you? When the internet is overflowing with mental health and wellness content, figuring out what's helpful and what's not can feel overwhelming. That's why there's BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, staffed entirely by qualified therapists. Real people, not AI. And with a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you can feel confident you're in good hands. With BetterHelp, you get support that's truly tailored to you, with flexible appointments, online sessions, and help from wherever you're most comfortable. Join the over 5 million people worldwide who have relied on BetterHelp for their mental health and well-being. Visit BetterHelp.com/remedy for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/remedy.
Well, it's pretty hard to escape that news about Charlie Kirk being killed this week. And if you want to know more about what kind of person he really was, new at 9, we're going to be talking with somebody who said Charlie Kirk was like a son to him. That's all coming up on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. But right now, it is 8:31, and we have Nizer Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And another thing a lot of people are talking about is that westbound traffic on 94 this weekend. And what can we expect?
Yes, thank you, Libby. Drivers should plan for delays on I-41 and nearby highways this weekend. I-894 westbound and I-41 northbound between 76th and Greenfield Avenue will be closed from 11 p.m. Friday through 5:30 a.m. Monday for paving. I-43 northbound from Layton Avenue to the Hale Interchange will also be shut down during that time. Starting Monday, the Silver Spring entrance ramp to I-41 southbound will close through the fall for lane work, followed by the Capitol Drive entrance ramp closing later in September. Officials advise using alternate routes and planning extra time travel. Several Wisconsin workers have faced backlash over social media posts about Charlie Kirk's death. In Milwaukee, Next Door Child Care fired an employee who criticized Kirk's pro-gun views online. In Wausau, nonprofit leader Callie Wolk lost her positions after posting well-deserved with clapping emojis. A Laconia high school teacher is on leave for calling Kirk a racist and white nationalist. And in Elkhorn, an associate principal was falsely accused after her photo was misused in a viral post. In Cudahy, the school district is investigating an employee over a social media post made outside school hours. The district confirmed that the Elkhorn associate principal had no role. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic, just the I-41 northbound between 76th Street and Greenfield Avenue just closed at the moment, but otherwise no major issues, no major delays at that moment around that area, and full freeway speeds across the rest of the system.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Every Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get a second pizza absolutely free at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google the Mineshaft today.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Dense fog advisory for most of southeast Wisconsin until 10 a.m. Today, any fog lifting through the morning, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 77 near the lake and 83 inland. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 62. Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 83. Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 84. Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 85. And Thursday, partly cloudy with a chance of showers and storms with a high of 80. Right now in Wausau, it's 63. In Cudahy, it's 67. And in Milwaukee, it's 65 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:33.
And I just want to add to something that you said about that paving they're doing on 41 and everything at 894. Okay, it's affecting you on 94 if you're going to go westbound from the city. So keep that in mind, especially if you're headed to the game today. All right, thanks so much, Nizer. And in just 2 minutes, it's the Week in Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. After 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking with somebody who says Charlie Kirk was like a son to him. And you're going to hear him say things that you haven't heard anyplace else. So stick around. Right now, though, it is time for the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. And that's coming up right now.
What we do here is go back.
In a place where sports are played at the same time.
Here he is throwing to the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass to Jaden Reed. Packers on the board again.
I think it just goes to show you the depth we have. We got playmakers all around.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out for his 8th strikeout of the afternoon, and Jacob Mizorowski gets through 7 while retiring the last 13 that he faced.
Decision Wisconsin, the top elected official in Milwaukee County, will launch his bid for governor today.
County Executive David Crowley says his background and experience in office make him uniquely prepared for the job.
What'd your wife say when you decided to make this decision?
My wife kind of gave me the side eye, right? But I am glad and extremely happy that my better three-quarters is with me 100%.
Yeah. Some say the smarter one.
She is the smarter one.
So you support eliminating concealed carry firearm licenses that require training.
To get the concealed carry license, you have to take the class.
I know, and I think we should remove that requirement to take the class.
Ringo Starr and his all-star band are returning to Milwaukee.
What the hell have I done? I'd never put a band together, so I started just calling friends, and nobody said no. It was so far out that I had to stop because we would have been 20 people on stage.
Well, coming to a Wisconsin supper club near you, it's the Prime Rib Trail. That's right, from our good friends at the Wisconsin Beef Council in partnership with Gather Wisconsin. They've launched the Prime Rib Trail. So think of it like a passport of sorts.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been killed in a shooting on a Utah campus. The shooter is still at large. The manhunt is on for the shooter. What we do know is that the shot was fired from a rifle about 200 yards away.
This is a political assassination.
What scares me about yesterday, and I hope we don't talk about this 2 months from now, is that somebody's going to do this going the other direction, right? So they're going to say, he got shot, now it's time for somebody else to get even with him. The whole country as a whole, I think, needs just a big timeout.
Did you stand there in shock? This morning, the War Memorial Center became a place of reflection as Milwaukee paused to honor the nearly 3,000 lives lost on September 11th.
The attacks of 9/11 were meant to divide us and weaken our spirit. Instead, they revealed our strength, our resilience, and the power of community.
I have questions about what happened to my dad that day and what he was doing. He was helping a civilian. He stopped to help someone. And I asked firefighters, who made it out, why didn't my dad leave? And the response I get all the time is, you can't abandon someone in need. And I was like, I can't keep stuffing this anymore. My son's going to have questions. And it's not fair for my dad's story not to get shared, because if I don't share it, no one's going to know about it.
And what really matters?
There's a small airplane about 16 miles east, unknown intersection, that went into Lake Michigan. There's 3 people on it.
The 3 individuals on the plane have been rescued from the water.
To the outside, wide open touchdown, Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft.
On the whole, it is just great to be a Packer fan.
With a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
What are we, gang?
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that was the Weekend Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. It is 8:41, coming up in just a minute. Have you fallen for one of those tech support scams? Well, don't do it, and we'll tell you why after this.
You'll get a new heat pump system, a new furnace, and a full home duct cleaning all together as a package at about half price. Half price! That's how it all shakes out. Not a gimmick. And both the furnace and the heat pump system are high-quality units. This is Anthony Zanevsky. All you have to do is purchase a heat pump system from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace and a free duct cleaning. All totaled, the cost would be about $20,000. When you add in the new tax incentives that you'll get back at the end of the year, you're going to end up paying about half. That's about $10,000 for a high-quality furnace, heat pump system, and a full home duct cleaning. It's limited time. And last time we did this, the units went pretty fast. So if your home needs a new furnace upgrade and a heat pump system that can act as a brand new AC system as well as a furnace backup, take advantage while you can and cut your energy bills substantially. Call Quality and get them while they're hot.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Bob Howe, Chief Financial Officer of Fiserv. We love being part of the vibrant downtown community, just blocks from Fiserv Forum, of which we're the naming rights sponsor. We're also proud to be Milwaukee's hometown payments and fintech company. Thanks, downtown Milwaukee.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Well, I know that a lot of people have problems with their computers, and sometimes we need some tech support. Well, here in Wisconsin, they're getting a lot of reports about threatening computer pop-ups. And joining us on our WTMJ hotline is our consumer expert from DATCAP, Michelle Reinen. And what are you hearing about these tech support scams?
Yes, we are hearing from consumers that have encountered a threatening computer pop-up that said that there was an issue with their device which required technical support. And the consumer is supposed to call a phone number listed on that pop-up, but when they do, they're going to encounter a scammer who's going to present them with a new twist to this normal tech support scam. What's happening is that consumers going to be instructed to download a program that will allow the scammer remote access. The next step is that the scammer will tell the consumer that they've had money stolen from their account multiple times in recent days by someone working at their bank. So they really try and gain the attention of the individual. The scammer then claimed that they needed to work with the FBI to track down which bank employee was taking the consumer's money, and they guided the consumer through setting up an online bank account, which they hadn't previously had, and finally then tried to seal the deal by telling the consumer to wire more than $14,000 to another account for a sting operation at their own bank. And thankfully, this consumer who reported this situation didn't give in to the high-pressure tactics, that false sense of urgency, or the big insistence to not tell anyone else about the situation.
Now, have you only had one report like that in Wisconsin, or are you getting multiples?
We have had multiple reports. This one was specific with this $14,000 is the highest dollar value report that we have had to date.
All right. So if you get one of these pop-ups on your computer, and I think we've all had them, what should you do?
Well, disregard the pop-up. Do not react to it. Do not call the phone number in the pop-up message or click any links that may be present there. Then run your antivirus software. to see if you do have any problems with your computer. And if you're not tech savvy, that's when you enlist the help of your kids or someone at a local organization, or go seek professional help. There are plenty of trusted computer resources in local communities to try and help you determine if there is anything wrong with your computer.
I would say don't panic either, because sometimes those pop-ups can be kind of scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Don't let that that pressure of the moment, that fear, allow you to think differently about the situation. Take a breath, pause it through, and talk to somebody about it.
And finally, Michelle, if you think you're being scammed, who do we call?
Contact the Consumer Protection Hotline at 1-800-422-7128.
It's 8:46. Well, that fog is going to lift completely here in the next hour or so, and then it's going to be mostly sunny for the rest of the day. 77 near the lake, 83 inland. We have 65 degrees at WTMJ. And coming up in just a couple minutes, Sandy Max is back from hanging out with the gentlemen of Downton Abbey. It's all ahead of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Ken David Mazur's thoughtful and spectacular final season as music director of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra kicks off in grand style as the MSO welcomes Stuart Goodyear to the Bradley Symphony Center as soloist in the Piano Concerto for the Left Hand by Maurice Ravel. This dazzling and inventive showpiece will be preceded by Swedish composer Andrea Torotti's festive overture. And then, in the second half, it's Richard Strauss's autobiographical work Ein Heldenleben, or A Hero's Life. With moving solos for the concertmaster, this piece features all that's best in Strauss, from its vast, sweeping design to lush harmonies and brilliant, masterful orchestration. The MSO's season opener, A Hero's Life, runs September 13th and 14th only. So reserve your tickets now while you still can. Visit MSO.org or call the box office at 414-291-7605.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers flew high in their game against the Cardinals last night. After coming up from a 5-run deficit, they tied it in the 9th. The Cardinals scored another run in extra innings. Then Caleb Durbin stepped up to the plate for Milwaukee.
The 0-1 to Durbin. And this is a line drive into left center field. It's down. Base hit. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Perkins jogs home. On his way to second is Durbin. We are tied at 8 on the RBI double from the rookie.
A walk-off RBI single from Andrew Monasterio clinched the victory for the Crew. They beat the Cardinals 9-8 and are headed to the postseason. They have one more game in their series today before the Brewers take on the Angels here in Milwaukee. First pitch today is at 1:10. Our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up. Badgers football fell to the Crimson Tide in Alabama last night. They lost 38-14. They face Maryland at home Saturday, September 20th. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
Thanks a lot, Mark. What a game last night. It's 8:49. Sandy Max is next on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
We've all dealt with family feuds. This one will be settled right on the diamond.
From Contreras. The other Contreras trying to take second on him, and William threw him out.
It's the Brewers and the Cardinals.
Wilson broke for second, and Williams said, "You might be my big brother, but I'm going to have the upper hand here."
Our game day coverage starts today at noon with Brewers warm-up on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
At Og Prep North, we know the only way to build the future is on the foundation of excellence and faith. Og Prep North, built for academic, artistic, and athletic excellence. Made for more. Learn more at ogprep.org.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Such dramatic music, and she's back. Sandy Max, you've been hanging out with the cast of Downton Abbey, and that is all the talk at the movie theater.
I have been just, rolling around in bliss. Downton Abbey is one of my very, very favorite shows. I have a podcast called Downton Blabby that is devoted to the show. I visited Highclere Castle 3 times. I am what you would probably call a super fan.
Well, okay, but now let's get this straight.
Yes.
You didn't just go to the premiere of Downton Abbey in New York City. You went to the premiere in London as well.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Because I did some research and I figured out, based on some Viking Cruises contests, that the world premiere would be in London on or about September 3rd. And I love London, and it's just, this is the final movie, Libby. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Downton Abbey, the grand finale. So this is never going to happen again. So I got that feeling of FOMO, like I need to be there. And so I have friends in London. I love London. So it was like, let's just book a vacation and go and see if we can be there. Because this time...
Did you walk the red carpet?
I did not walk the red carpet. I wound up going early and getting a wristband at the movie theater in Leicester Square, which is like the hub of England's Hollywood right there, where they do all the world premieres. I went in early, got a wristband, went back, and I was in the fan section on the red carpet. So you get to watch all the stars arrive. There was another reporter section, but they came and signed autographs. And
did you get their autographs? When
I
they
got
did that?
some. I'm not usually that person, but I thought if I get their autograph, I can slow them down just enough maybe to get a picture and say hi. So
and you got pictures, I assume.
Yes, Hugh Bonneville, Jim Carter, who plays Carson the butler.
But as if that wasn't enough, you actually got to sit down with them too. Now that was in New York.
I went to the press junket in New York. It was an epic overnighter. What an experience! I got invited by Focus Features. Thank you very much to the screening, and that screening was with the creators, Julian Fellow, who has written every word of every TV show and every movie, and he also writes The Gilded Age.
Oh yeah.
So you've heard the name Julian Fellows, and also the movie Gosford Park. Julian Fellows was there, along with the producers who've been there since day one of this. So to watch the movie with the creators and much of the cast, you know how at the end of movies people applaud and somebody says, okay, take it down a notch. Nobody here who made the movies here. There were. So there was applause at the end of the film. I will tell you that at the end of the movie, what a lot of people were saying was that it's very satisfying.
Okay.
So I won't give you any spoilers.
But
to be in New
that,
York,
because you know,
with the cast was
I
fun.
love to know when you get to hobnob and elbow around with big stars. You actually sat down with 3 cast members.
Yes,
and they were
Hugh Bonneville, who plays Lord Grantham.
He's the big guy. Okay.
Tom Branson, who plays it's not Tom Branson. Alan Leach, who plays Tom Branson. He's the chauffeur who marries into the family, which is a whole exploration. And he's Irish, so it's a whole exploration of those cultures. And one of the funniest characters in Downton Abbey is played by Kevin Doyle, Mr. Molesley. So I got the opportunity to sit down with them, and I started with a lighthearted question. Now that you've learned I'm from Milwaukee, what do you think of Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Each of you, what comes to mind?
Cheese.
Beer. I just like the way you say it. Milwaukee.
Have
Is
you
it
had
true
some?
that you're not allowed, like, it never leaves Wisconsin, apparently? Like, you have to go and get the cheese to get it out. Is that true? Maybe that's a rumor.
Oh, no, we send it all around the world.
But you keep the best stuff at home.
Exactly. Well, you're welcome to come try some.
I'd love to.
The invitation has been made.
Well, if you can get him here in the studio, I'll come and
Ooh,
fangirl.
wouldn't that be fun? But they were so nice and playful. But, you know, one of the most meaningful characters of Downton Abbey, the Dowager Countess and her zingers, Dame Maggie Smith.
Yeah, and she's passed away.
About this time last year. So she's a significant part of this movie. Well, I won't give anything away, but she's still honored in part of this film, which has the drama, has the dialogue. I definitely recommend it for Downton Abbey fans. And it's lush. You go to 1930 London and England and back in Highclere Castle. But I wanted to ask them what it was like filming without her for the first time in 14 years.
Yeah, you never felt she was far away, put it that way. And of course, then after we finished filming, she did pass away in real life, and so the film becomes inevitably a tribute to her, and quite rightly so.
I have to think those first readings that you must have felt her so.
Well, I felt her absence, and I think he was right. I think while we were filming, especially at places like Highclere, you did feel her presence. Actually, the dining room scenes, you couldn't help but sort of imagine her there.
Yeah, and also, naturally going when we're filming up there in the downtime, you've 14 years of reminiscing about times and stories and memories. So of course we did that a lot, and even more so now that she's passed. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Happy Downton Day to you.
Thank you very much. It's a Downton Day. Fantastic.
It's official.
So see, they were a lot of fun to chat with. And if you text the word Downton, DOWNTON, not downtown. Text the word Downton to our Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Text Downton, and you'll get a link that has the videos and the full interview from What's on Tap.
Well, I can see you still have that light about you. From being in their presence, I guess you could say.
It was a magical experience.
And you love the movie.
You want to know what I don't like about the movie?
What?
It's the end of the Downton Abbey body of work, but but you are saying goodbye to this. But truly, it's a wonderful escape back to that Downton Abbey world. So enjoy it if you're looking for a matinee this afternoon or something fun to watch this week.
And tonight, it's the Emmys.
Yes.
Do you know of any connection to Milwaukee at this point?
I didn't see any connections to Milwaukee or Wisconsin, but I would say reasons to watch. Nate Bargatze is the host, fun, down-to-earth comedian. He's always been great on Saturday Night Live. I think he will make it a fun show to watch. Also, there's a Golden Girls anniversary tribute. It's been 40 years since the Golden Girls.
And all four of the stars are gone.
So isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That's well, I mean, it's like they were older
at
the
show.
time.
That was a cute show.
Yeah, and there's going to be a Gilmore Girls reunion, so got some girls themes there, but it'll be interesting to see. Severance is the most nominated show. And it's a very odd, unusual, original show that people love. So Severance, The Penguin, The Studio, by watching, you'll at least know what to spend your time on when you're looking for something to stream when it's cold weather.
And I'm sure you'll be talking about that this week, as well as what else?
The Milwaukee Film Dialogues Documentary Film Festival is this week. A wide range of topics from lighthearted to really thought-provoking. And on Monday, tomorrow at 6, I will have the director and Oz historian Ryan Jay talking about the documentary called It's Dorothy, the significance of Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz and how she has become this pop culture reference, especially for the LGBTQ plus community, and how that happened, how that evolution evolved to be a pop culture icon like that character.
And that's tomorrow.
Yes.
On What's on Tap. Well, it's great to have you back on American soil. And glad you had a great time with the gentleman from Downton Abbey.
Pip, pip, and cheerio.
Sandy Max, always great to have you here. And coming up here after the news, new at 9, we are going to be talking with a gentleman who knew Charlie Kirk and mentored him from the time he was a 16-year-old high school student, and says he was like a son to him. It's coming up next on Wisconsin Weekend on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Pizza made with pride. That's what you'll get here. With a sauce recipe over 60 years in existence that we're not changing for the world. And we just can't get ourselves to skimp. So we still use only the highest quality ingredients, like our house recipe Italian sausage and our original thin crust dough that's made fresh daily and never frozen. And of course, always 100% real mozzarella cheese. You can't beat that or a Marty's Pizza.
Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
That big online store has special days with ridiculously low prices, so why don't you?
We do.
You do? When?
Every day. Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next day delivery, too.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, through Monday, get a free box spring or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
I guess you could say that now is a prime time to buy.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
We've all dealt with family feuds. This one will be settled right on the diamond.
From Contreras, the other Contreras tried to take second on him, and William threw him out.
It's the Brewers and the Cardinals.
Wilson broke for second, and Williams said, "You might be my big brother, but I'm going to have the upper hand here."
Our game day coverage starts today at noon with Brewers warm-up on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 67 degrees here in Milwaukee. Today, any fog lifting through the morning, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 83, and tonight a low of 62. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Nazir Spencer. Utah authorities say 22-year-old Tyler Robinson has been arrested for the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The governor credited Robinson's relatives for turning him in. To the details, here's Carter Evans.
When authorities interviewed his family, they mentioned that he had become much more politically active lately. And they mentioned a recent family dinner where he mentioned that Charlie Kirk was going to be speaking here, and he talked about how much he hated Charlie Kirk. And that took the family by surprise.
Investigators say Robinson despised Kirk's views and told a family member he was responsible. Street takeovers have plagued parts of the city of Milwaukee, causing frustration among city residents and city police. Retired Milwaukee Police Sergeant Patrick O'Donnell tells Wisconsin's Midday News the most effective way to end street takeovers is to impound the vehicles.
You take their car, oh, it's like ripping out their soul. And, okay, now you pay for the tow. Now you pay for storage every day. And to retrieve your car, you need a valid driver's license, the registration has to be up to snuff, and proof of insurance. Good luck getting all that. That's heartburn that nobody wants, and that ended it.
O'Donnell says the city putting up fines is just going to result in them being unpaid. Associated Bank is expanding its footprint across the Midwest. The bank says its growth strategy is working, aiming to strengthen its presence and reach new customers beyond its core market. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Tim Gibbons tells WTMJ.
Their push now is to look at some cities further west. They opened up a Kansas City area operation earlier this year. They opened up in St. Louis in, I think it was April. So looking at Omaha, looking at Denver, looking at more locations in Kansas City is very much a focus for the bank as it continues to grow.
As Associated Bank grows, it's betting on a new market to drive further success. The Milwaukee Fire Department celebrating their 150th anniversary this weekend.
I'm proud. I'm happy to be the chief during the 150th. It's really just the luck of the draw, really. You know, it's just a lot of people came before me to get me to this position.
Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky tells WTMJ.
It can do things to you if you only are interacting with people during crisis, when it's their worst day. But if you can just meet people on a nice sunny day in September and just say hi and just talk and be in the same space, that's a really, really good thing.
The event Saturday also spread the word about fire safety measures, including a demonstration about the importance of sprinkler systems and smoke alarms. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
Time to get your furnace ready to work this winter. Vince Vitrano here with my HVAC guy, Ryan Sopa at Urban Heating and Cooling. Ryan, you're doing furnace tune-ups now.
Correct. We're starting to do furnace maintenance, making sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming cold weather.
You do all that for less than $100. You can save big, though, if you spend that money up front, right? Make sure this thing is good.
Correct. I mean, if we come in there and do a maintenance on your furnace, so it can help prevent major breakdowns for the next season.
Thanks, Ryan. Contact them now at urbanheatingandcooling.com. urbanheatingandcooling.com.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Bob Howe, Chief Financial Officer of Fiserv. We love being part of the vibrant downtown community, just blocks from Fiserv Forum, of which we're the naming rights sponsor. We're also proud to be Milwaukee's hometown payments and fintech company. Thanks, Downtown Milwaukee.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
So it's time you bought some new end tables, or maybe a new coffee table. There's nothing like having beautiful new wood furniture in your home. But as a mom, I know wood furniture tends to attract little boys and girls like a magnet. And soon your new end table ends up being a Hot Wheels racetrack. And before you know it, that new wood is going to start to take a beating. Well, let me tell you what I've found to be an inexpensive solution to keeping wood furniture tops intact. And it's simple. Custom cut glass tabletops. They do a great job protecting the wood, and I happen to believe that they make wood furniture look even classier. So give me a call. I'll help you protect that wood and make it look even nicer with a custom cut glass tabletop. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Group of Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers win their second game of the series against the Cardinals 9-8. The final game of the series is today at 1:10. Our coverage begins at noon. Badger football loses against Alabama 38-14. Their next matchup is against Maryland next Saturday. Badgers sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top-quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, dense fog advisory for most of southeast Wisconsin until 10 a.m. Today, fog lifting through the morning, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 83 inland. And tonight, mostly clear with a low of 62. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
Well, yesterday I had the opportunity to talk with someone who not only knew Charlie Kirk, who of course was horribly, horribly gunned down this week, but he met him when he was just 16 years old. And because of who this person was, he became a mentor to Charlie Kirk. And I'm talking about former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh. Now, Joe, I've known for a long time. And he used to do my radio show when I was across the border. And Joe, when this went on, was a different person than what you see now. As a matter of fact, he's been all over CNN and MSNBC and a lot of the other channels doing interviews since Charlie was killed on Wednesday. But Joe met Charlie when he was just 16 years old and a high school student because Charlie was a big fan of Joe Walsh. And he became a mentor to him. And we talked about some things. I don't think you're going to hear this anyplace else. So here's my interview with Joe Walsh yesterday. Before Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, former Congressman Joe Walsh was a mentor to Charlie Kirk, who was tragically assassinated this past week. And we are joined on our WTMJ hotline by Joe. And you've known Charlie Kirk since he was a 16-year-old high school student. How did you two meet?
Yeah, I mean, just down memory lane. I mean, I met him when he was 16. I think he lived just outside my district, but that's when I first ran for Congress. He got involved in the campaign. And then I became like a political mentor to him, and I helped him start Turning Point USA, and he was like a son to me. I went to Congress. I was Tea Party. The whole point of Turning Point was kind of Tea Party-ish and capitalism and freedom and free markets. So we were political soulmates for a number of years there, and then Trump happened, and we went our separate ways. But Crazy stuff.
What was it about a young Charlie Kirk, again, 16 years old, a high school student, that caught your attention? Because obviously you were talking to people far more important than Charlie Kirk.
Libby, I don't know what you were doing at 16. At 16 on a Saturday night, I was thinking about, gosh, I want to go out with a cute girl. At 16 years old, Charlie Kirk was studying congressional districts around the country. He was a political nerd in the best sense of the word. He was idealistic. He was 20, 30 years beyond his age. You just knew when you met him that this kid had interest and he had passion for what he believed in. And you knew he was going to be something. And it was just a real joy and an honor to kind of take him under my wing.
You said he was like a son to you. I mean, how frequently would you see him? What was that relationship like between the two of you?
Well, again, Libby, this is complicated, and this is like American politics today. I've done a lot of national TV this week, and when I heard he was shot, it felt like I lost a son. That's an odd thing to say because for the last 7 years, Charlie and I have been estranged on different sides of this divide. But he was like a son to me. We would talk night after night after night for so many years about politics and policy, and I would speak at all of his Turning Point events, and he and I would huddle backstage and have coffee together or whatever, and just, again, talk. He was obsessed with politics, and he was 30 years younger than me, and I thought he's going to be something one day.
What did he tell you at that age his goals were?
Not to run for office. He loved the country, and his goals were really simple. He felt like the left on our college campuses were being indoctrinated with a certain philosophy, and he wanted to change that philosophy and expose young people to, again, freedom, free markets, capitalism, things like that. And he didn't know where specifically it would take him. He knew he wanted to have real impact.
Well, he was obviously a brilliant young man and quite well spoken. Didn't go to college except for, a semester or so. Did you at that time try to encourage him to follow an educational path, or did you say, you know what, you can do it without going to college?
I initially, Libby, I would mentor him that he ought to go to college, start the organization and go to college, do both. You want that college degree. But then after he launched TPUSA and we saw the growth, I remember looking at him a couple years in when he was maybe only 19 or 20 and saying, screw it, Charlie, this thing has become something really big. This is going to be your life for the next 10 years. You can always go back to school.
All right, Joe, I'm going to go back a little bit because I knew you when you first started in politics. And
Libby, you knew me during this period when
Exactly, yeah. And unfortunately, Charlie and I, our paths never crossed. But at that time, excuse the expression, you were a little bit bombastic and a bit of a provocateur. Now, I know you've changed in terms of your media persona since then. Was that something that you think Charlie Kirk was drawn to about you? The fact that you were so outspoken and you didn't mind baiting people on the other side?
So, Libby, in all of the media interviews I've done this week, you're the first person to ask me that question. That's a brilliant question. The answer is yes. I was his most favorite political figure. From the time he was 16 until Charlie and I went our separate ways in 2017. You're right. And part of what he loved about me was I had my beliefs. I didn't give a damn what other people thought. I was going to say what I believe. I would sit down with anybody. Remember those days I'd have town halls and sit down with anybody of any viewpoint. Charlie was fascinated by that. I was a provocateur. I was purposely in your face. Charlie took in a lot of that as well. Yeah.
We've got former Congressman, media personality Joe Walsh with us this morning, who knew Charlie Kirk since he was 16 years old. All right, you mentioned you guys had a falling out. Tell us about it. What happened, and how did all of that go down?
Well, so at one level, Libby, it's like a gazillion other stories in this era of Trump, right? I mean, you've experienced this, I have. Families and best friends and supporters have been estranged and separated because of Trump. That's like the divide. I've lost almost all my friends. I've lost all my supporters. So at one level, it was just like that. Trump got elected the first time, and Charlie and I had some very personal talks. And again, I was his mentor. He confided in me. I told him what I thought he should do. Not going to be critical. He chose a different path. So at one level, it was just like all my other supporters and friends who decided to become big Trumpers. I became a big never Trumper. But the difference with Charlie was it was really personal because, again, Libby, he was like my son. And it was devastating to me to see my son do what I believed he knew wasn't the right thing to do. I understood why he did it. So it was at one level like I've lost, again, all my friends and all my supporters. But knowing Charlie as I did, that relationship, it was personal. It was disappointing.
It's interesting that you say you thought he knew he shouldn't make that choice. What do you mean?
We had a conversation maybe 2 weeks after Trump first won. This was back in November, late November of 2016. And remember, Libby, he's a young kid at this time. And I remember him sitting down with me. We were having coffee together, and he started to tear up. He started to cry, and he looked at me and he said, Joe, I'm going to have to abandon a lot of what I believe in if I go and become part of Team Trump. Remember, Libby, at this point, Charlie worked on that 2016 campaign. He and Don Jr. met, and Don Jr. and the Trump campaign basically turned over their social media operation to Charlie Kirk. So here's a 19, 20-year-old kid doing this for a presidential campaign, meeting super important people, really heady stuff. But we're having coffee after Trump won, and Charlie knew that if he stayed and he committed to Trump, then he couldn't criticize Trump when Trump went against things he believed in, and he'd have to give up a lot of what he believed in. He'd have to give up his principles. He knew that, and he asked me for advice, and I said, the most important thing is to hold on to your principles and do and say what you believe. I get it. He was young, and he chose the other path.
And we talk about a lot more at 9:34. Former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh, who knew Charlie Kirk from the time he was 16 years old, talks about how he thinks Charlie changed between the age of around 22 to his untimely death at the age of 31. That's all coming up at 9:34 on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It is 9:18.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
That fog is pretty much lifted off. We're going to get up to about 83 and a little bit cooler near the lake. Then clear tonight down to 62. Sunshine tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, with those temperatures hovering right around 80 degrees. And our next chance of precipitation is going to be on Thursday. It's 64 degrees at 9:20 on WTMJ.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
This September, test dress any mattress at Steinhafels and you'll get a $20 restaurant gift card. Plus, Steinhafels will donate $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for kids with cancer. Stop in this month, enjoy a night out, and help make a difference.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Welcome to the Sunday Sip. I'm your host, Julia Fellow. Today, we are talking about something that touches millions of families every day, memory care. Right now, more than 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, and that number is expected to nearly double by 2050. 1 in 9 people over 65 years old has Alzheimer's, and 2/3 are women. It is the cause of death in 1 in 3 seniors, and get this, last year alone, unpaid caregivers provided 19 billion hours of care valued over more than $400 billion. At the Waters of Pewaukee, residents living with memory loss experience dignity, connection, and joy every day. Joining me now is our special guest, Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee. You can head to thewaters.com to get started. Jennifer, welcome to the Sunday Sip.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Julia.
So the number one question so far, is this the time where I may see a change in my loved one? Maybe this time of year where there's a lot of changes?
Absolutely, 100%. With seasons changing, the holidays are coming, kids, grandkids may be going off to school, off to college. It's a big change for our seniors. They're seeing just change in general, and it's hard. It's difficult for our seniors to grasp that.
And also coming up with the fall and winter, there's a lot of holidays.
Absolutely.
And sometimes there's agitation, more people coming in and out, and that can exacerbate things, right?
100%.
That is where, when you start noticing something like this, you can be part of the conversation, the waters. Because it's a hard thing to talk to someone about what the next steps are.
It is. I have families calling, stopping in. They say, Jennifer, we're starting to see some changes in our loved ones. Mom's forgetting where she put her car keys or couldn't find her way home from the grocery store, just starting to see some changes. We're not sure if she's ready for a memory care situation. We want to see what our options are. And I absolutely am so happy to hear that. Families are starting to reach out early. They're starting to say, what are our options? What should we be doing? And I just want to stress so much when you start even seeing those little signs, or even before your gut is telling you, I'm seeing some changes, to start researching and start reaching out.
And don't feel guilty if you want to visit a place like the Waters, which is incredible.
Exactly. Don't feel guilty. If anything, you love your folks, your grandparents, your neighbors so much that you're doing them justice to go out there and say, what's out there? What's available? What are the places like the Waters? A beautiful community where somebody can come in, they can call this their home, they can age in place.
Yeah.
And
have dignity.
Absolutely, 100%, and grow there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the Waters uses something that I think is really incredible. It's the Petals program. Can you explain that to our listeners?
It's amazing. When I started with the Waters, I have never experienced something like this program, okay? What is different about this program is that it is a dedicated staff in our memory care wing, I'll call it. What that means for those folks that are in our Petals neighborhood, in the memory care neighborhood, is that that staff is specially trained and they know how to work with folks with cognitive issues, and the activities, the daily engagement, the things are different than folks who maybe need some light assistance, things like that. So it's a specially trained staff back there. It's not staff that is in the rest of our main building. So it is quite a wonderful program there that is all headed by a Petals coach, Michelle, who is wonderful. And to come there to get the feeling, I tour families. I don't want anybody to be afraid of memory care. It's not something that's tucked in the back of the building, and it's part of life. And, you know, your stats at the beginning, it is, and it's become more and more prevalent, and we have to address it. And we have to make sure that our seniors have these options, and these options are dignified, and we can make sure that they have these options later in life.
You know, what I love is that how they're trained. That's so important. Like, even redirecting them. If they're upset, you can redirect them to something different. And it takes someone so specialized to know how to do those types of things, even, you know, switching to lunch or dinner. And you want to make sure that your family member is taken care of and loved and safe.
Absolutely. We want our family members to be treated as we would be treating them at home, right? And to give somebody else that responsibility is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you had mentioned, don't feel guilty, you know, things like that. At the Waters, they're safe, they're protected, they are loved, they're engaged, and it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, I was looking at it, 5 different layouts you can choose in the memory care wing, and you are full right now. But one thing that's really interesting is that if someone, you know, needs help, but not to be in a full memory care wing yet, you can start by just having them in the Waters, and their care can grow.
Exactly. And that's what I had mentioned earlier and on past segments. I have welcomed and love when I get the phone calls that say, Jennifer, we're just beginning our search, even maybe for independent living or some light assistance. I welcome that. Come to the Waters. Let me show you what we have. Come live there, age in place. If the time comes when you do need that cognitive support, you're already there.
Yes.
That's your home. You know that home. Your family knows the home. Don't forget, Julia, you can bring your dog.
I know. Isn't that incredible?
It is.
I love that.
So this is your home, and you can age in place. And that's the one thing I want to stress.
So you're full, but start the conversation with Jennifer, the Waters of Pewaukee. How do we get a hold of you?
You can call the community directly. You can ask to speak to Jennifer, or you can go to our website, thewaters.com, go to the Pewaukee location, and you can send me an email, or again, like I said, give us a call right at the community.
I've been there. It's incredible. I would want to live there. So head to thewaters.com. It's right off Highway 164 in Pewaukee. It sits on 22 acres. Beautiful. And the memory care wing has amazing panoramic windows. It does not feel like you're anywhere but home. So head to thewaters.com. Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Julia.
It's 9:29 and 67 degrees.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Since 1957, we've been making great pizzas. The recipe's the same, the dough's made daily like it's always been. The fresh veggies are cut daily, and the quality control remains as high as it's ever been. We gotta keep it high, because we know when you can count on consistency, that it keeps you coming back. So how about Marty's Pizza tonight?
Remember Marty's Pizza. Marty's Pizza.
Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that.
Remember Marty's Pizza.
It's 9:30. It's 9:31, and we've got Nizer Spencer of the WTMJ Breaking News Center, and you got some warnings about traffic, huh?
Yes, thank you, Libby. Drivers should plan for delays on I-41 and nearby highways this weekend. I-894 westbound and I-41 northbound between 76th Street and Greenfield Avenue will be closed from 11 p.m. Friday through 5:30 a.m. Monday for paving. I-43 northbound from Layton Avenue to the Hale Interchange will also be shut down during that time. Starting Monday, the Silver Spring entrance ramp to I-41 southbound will close through the fall for lane work, followed by the Capitol Drive entrance ramp closing later in September. Officials advise using alternate routes and planning extra time travel. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Other than that closure, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by Rejuvenix Arthritis Pain Clinics. Go to rejuvenix.com for an appointment.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Dense fog advisory for most of southeast Wisconsin until 10 a.m. Any fog lifting through the morning, then becoming mostly sunny with a high of 83 today. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 62. Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 83. Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 84. Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 85. And Thursday, partly cloudy with a chance of showers or storms with a high of 80. Right now in Madison, it's 68. In Waukesha, it's 67, and in Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 933.
Thanks a lot, Nizer. And in just 2 minutes, we'll play the rest of my conversation with former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh, who met Charlie Kirk when he was only 16 years old and said he was like a son to him. That's all I had on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. For senior living where comfort meets community, welcome to the Waters of Pewaukee, an experience designed with you in mind. Enjoy beautiful, spacious apartments, chef-prepared meals, and enriching daily activities that bring joy and purpose. Whether it's independent living, assisted care, or memory support, you'll find a compassionate staff, modern amenities, and the peace of mind you deserve at the Waters of Pewaukee. You're not just moving in, you're coming home. Schedule a tour and learn more today at thewaters.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
You know when that big online store has special days with ridiculously low prices?
Yeah?
Why doesn't Hassleus Mattress do that?
We do.
You do? When?
Every day.
Okay, good one. But really, when are the big discounts?
Like I said, every day. You know our showrooms are employee-free.
So I can give your mattresses a try.
With no pushy sales guy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that allows us to sell Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more for way less.
Give me numbers.
Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next-day delivery, too.
And you do this every day?
Yeah. Plus, through Monday, get a free box spring with every Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Wow.
So I guess you could say now is a prime time to buy.
I see what you did there.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassleus.com.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. We played the first part of this interview a little bit, maybe about a half an hour ago. And it is my conversation with former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh. I spoke with him yesterday about his relationship with the late Charlie Kirk. Do you think in those subsequent years, so it's been about 11, 12 years since you and he parted ways, or not even that long, I guess?
No, so you're right, Libby. It was almost exactly 9 years ago.
9 years ago. All right. So do you think that in those 9 years, he had become more of his own person and had gone back to some of the roots that you remembered when he was young?
I'm going to answer yes and no to your first question. Clearly, now that I've had time to reflect, he went back to who he really was. But I would say no, it had very little to do with his original roots. And again, 9 years. So you're talking about a 22-year-old to a 31-year-old. Those are formative years. And Libby, Charlie is part of the seat of power. So again, I completely understand why he did what he did. Turning Point, Libby, was set up all based on economic issues. We're going to expose young people to freedom, free trade, free markets, and capitalism. That's what the Tea Party was all about. Charlie, though, then became Trump, you know where I am on Trump. Trump's all about all the other stuff, the nationalistic stuff and the culture war stuff and the authoritarian stuff. And Charlie became that. And Charlie became much more about the cultural issues. Charlie became much more publicly about his faith and his religion, and America is a white Christian country. And now looking back, Libby, and my wife reminds me of this, there were hints of young Charlie that was part of him. And so I do think this was more of who Charlie really was. It's disappointing because it's not at all what Turning Point was. And when I left Turning Point, Libby, I was respectfully kicked out of Turning Point, and I understood it. A lot of young people left as well, because once Turning Point, in essence, became a Trump thing, it changed its mission. But I do think that change was more of who Charlie really, really was.
Joe, do you have any regrets that during those 9 years you didn't reach out again to Charlie?
So, Libby, this is what's really, really cool. When Charlie and I, in essence, went our separate ways, because we had such a unique relationship, and he was a son to me, and to this day, I believe Charlie had more respect for me than damn near anybody. You know what's weird, Libby? Charlie and I rarely, ever went after each other on social media. I don't think Charlie ever took a shot at me on social media. I took a few shots at him. I think, and my wife Helene is convinced, that Charlie knew how well I knew him, and there was almost like this bond that we had, that he knew that he and I got on different teams, but he was never going to take a shot at me. I regret not continuing to stay in touch with him. I think we talked privately for about a year and a half after we broke up, but then we didn't even communicate privately.
Joe, knowing Charlie Kirk the way you did, and you have great familiarity with politics and media. Do you think that he would have or could have eventually become president?
Oh, certainly. He chose that team, and my former party, I believe, is utterly different than what it was, but that is now my former party. And Charlie was one of the leading young voices of that party at 31. I believe that beyond 35 years old, he could have run as a Republican for pretty much any office. Yes.
Former Congressman Joe Walsh, I can't thank you enough for taking time to talk with us this morning. I know it's been a difficult week for you personally, and I'm sorry you lost your friend.
Hey, Libby, let me close with two things. It's been surreal and one of the weirdest political weeks I've had because of my complicated relationship with him. And I think it says so much about where we are as a country. But I also want to thank you because, again, I've probably had 197 media interviews in the last 3 days. This has been the most interesting, and you've asked wonderful questions that have really made me think about my relationship with him. Thank you.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And it was a very thoughtful former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh that I spoke with yesterday. And if you missed the first part of the interview, we're going to be posting this on WTMJ.com. It'll also be on our Facebook page. And if you go to YouTube, as a matter of fact, where we post the entire show, during our stream, we've had some pictures of Joe with a very young Charlie Walsh, or with a very young Charlie Kirk. And if you go to our YouTube stream, you'll be able to see those pictures that Joe was kind enough to share with us. So anyway, it was interesting. Regardless of how you felt about Charlie Kirk, Joe Walsh had a very interesting perspective on the young man. It's 9:42, and in just a couple minutes, we've got a really interesting conversation today, and that's going to happen at 11 o'clock, and we've got a slight preview of it. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Does your home's landscaping feel a little dated? Maybe the shrubs are overgrown or the flower beds have lost their spark. You don't need to start from scratch to make a huge impact. Landworks Wisconsin can breathe new life into your property with a professional garden renovation. The designers will work with you to refresh your plantings, redefine your garden beds, and restore your home's curb appeal. And while they're upgrading, maybe think about permanent holiday lighting. Give your garden the makeover it deserves. Visit the teams I trust at landworkswisconsin.com.
I think it's coming from over here.
No, I think I hear it over there.
Hold on. Here it is.
That's the Perry Sleeper, one of Penny Mustard's most popular sleeper sofas.
Yeah, and I think I know who's sleeping on it. Come on, Ben. Wake up.
Huh? What month is it?
You mean, what time is it?
No, what month? I'm hibernating.
You can't hibernate.
Well, I couldn't until I found the Perry Sleeper. Sure, it's classy and comfy as a sofa, but this pull-out sleeper is unbelievable.
5 extra inches of mattress.
And no painful bar in the middle of my back.
It just might be the perfect sleeper sofa.
Ugh, I'm going back to sleep. I set an alarm.
For what time?
April.
The Perry Sleeper, American-made with your choice of fabric or leather, and no metal bar digging into your back. Starting at $44.99 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishings.
It's WTMJ's Kristen Bry from Mission 94 Firearms Education Center in Kenosha. Look, I've never been a gun person, but I figured we have guns in the home, so it was finally time to learn how to safely load and shoot. So I went to Mission 94 with an open mind and ended up having a blast. Mission 94 is a welcoming environment for everyone at any experience level, including me. I love how they prioritize education and training, and the staff, they made me feel so comfortable in their state-of-the-art facility. Check it out for yourself. Just Google Mission 94.
Chef Gregory Leon from Mama Linda has been nominated 4 times for a James Beard Award, but he's never attended culinary school. He told me about his first job working for a legendary chef.
I walked by this building that looked really cool, And that was like the only reason I went in and applied for a job, was because I liked the space.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Well, it's called Zuni Cafe. It's still there. It's a cornerstone of the San Francisco culinary scene, but I knew nothing about it. And I was like, oh, this place looks cool. Little did I know that I just applied at one of San Francisco's greatest restaurants, and I lied on my application to get the job. I had no experience.
What did you say?
Oh, I embellished my experience and told her I had worked in kitchens and I knew what I was doing, which was not the case. So I learned how to say, why don't you show me how you guys do it here? She quickly cut on to the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. It only lasted like a 3-month probation period. She was very nice when she let me go, but she did fire me after 90 days. She's like, you're trying really hard, but you're not very good at this.
Oh, well, though he's been nominated 4 different times for a James Beard Award, Chef Gregory Leone from Mama Linda said that he doesn't really want to win. He told me a lot more, too, and you can hear my entire conversation this morning at 11 right here on WTMJ Conversations. It's 9:45, 1 minute away from Sports with Marquardt.
If you're feeling vibrations in your steering wheel after reaching speeds of over 50 miles per hour, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your brakes are making weird noises or feel strange every time you apply them, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your engine light is on, you should bring it to Richlands.
And let us fix it for you, because there isn't an auto service repair job on the planet that our service techs can't fix.
Courtney's right. Just check out some of our Google reviews. A whole lot of stars means a whole lot of happy customers.
Proof's in the pudding. So whether you need factory scheduled maintenance
or tires, brakes, and suspension service, we've got your back.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians. I'm Brett Matchke, and the next time you're due for service,
bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers faced the Cardinals in a nail-biter last night. After a tough start, the crew was able to tie it up in the 9th inning. Once they got into extra innings, the magic happened.
And the 2-2. And a liner into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Around third is Durbin. Here comes the throw home. Durbin slides in there safely. The Brewers walk it off in 10. Andrew Monasterio with a 10-pitch at bat. An RBI single into right center. And the Brewers clinching the playoffs earlier today. Put an exclamation mark on it here tonight.
The Brewers beat the Cardinals 9-8 and are headed to the playoffs. They have one more game in their series today before the Brewers take on the Angels here in Milwaukee. First pitch today is at 1:10. Our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up here on WTMJ. The Badgers football team fell to the Crimson Tide in Alabama last night. They lost 38-14. They'll face Maryland at home Saturday, September 20th. Badger Sports Updates are brought to you by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. I'm Marquardt for WTMJ Sports.
Thanks a lot, Marquardt. 9:48. We're going to get up to close to 80 degrees today. It's 67.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 7-ounce selected varieties Banquet pot pies, 5 for $5. 4 to 6-count selected varieties Dannon multi-pack yogurt, 2 for $6. 6 to 12-count selected varieties Ice Mountain spring water, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 12th.
From family barbecue to quiet mornings, a new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to our Outdoor Living Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Welcome to the Sunday Sip. I'm your host, Julia Fellow, with a superstar with us, a superstar guest with Just Between Friends Milwaukee County. Just Between Friends Milwaukee County, or JBF, is the biggest pop-up sale where you can find gently used infant all the way up to teen clothing, toys, cribs, books, everything you can think of for your growing family at 50 to 90% off the retail price. And it starts this Thursday, September 18th, for the pre-sale where you get a first look, and it runs through Sunday, September 21st. It's at the Wisconsin State Fair Park's Expo Center. You can get your tickets now and learn more at milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. So let's welcome our special guest to share more. The owners are a mother-daughter duo, Julie Pergandy and Alyssa Gottsacker, and Julie is with us. So tell me, it's such an awesome sale, 53,000 square feet. At the Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tell me what we have inside when we walk in. It's incredible.
Toys, games, clothing, baby gear, anything that you need for your children, grandchildren. We have over 550 consigners signed up that are bringing their gently used items to pass on to other families. So it helps those families that have those bins in their basement earn cash and pass it on to families that can get a good deal on gently used items. 550 consigners.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And it's a lot of items.
So what are like maybe the top 2 items you think a parent or grandparent or aunt or uncle should never buy new?
Definitely strollers. Strollers are very expensive. So if you can get a good deal in a stroller, and you can get a good deal at JBF with a nice big stroller and double strollers. And the other item would be clothing.
Kids get in free.
Yes, yes. On our pre-sale day, we leave it for adults, so you can shop quietly. But any of the other days, you can bring your kids. They can pick out items, and then you have them to see what size they wear.
What they want. Okay, so this is really cool because I think about grandparents. How incredible do you think it is for grandparents to come to the sale?
It's great. I like the fact that I have a crib at the house. I have a high chair at the house with 6 grandchildren and now different ages and stuff. I have toys for them, sippy cups, little plates. I mean, it just makes it so much more convenient and makes them feel at home too. Yeah, as a grandparent, you want to be that house that the kids hang out at and be prepared for.
And everything is safety checked. Can you talk about that?
A lot of people don't know that car seats have an expiration date. We don't sell any car seat that has less than a year left on the expiration.
And if there's a recall on a toy, you know you are looking inside and out on everything that comes in.
Definitely. Keeping kids safe.
So let's go through this Thursday. The pre-sale. Tell me about all of that.
Pre-sale day is exciting. We sell tickets for a first look There's 3 different levels of tickets, and you can go through our website and get your tickets there.
Go to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com and then just scroll down and you can click tickets. It took me like 2 seconds.
Yes, and then on Thursday night, we have free passes, and you can get those online also, for teachers, daycare directors, hometown heroes, and especially those new parents and grandparents. So get your free tickets for that, 4 to 9 shopping time.
Okay, then we get to opening day Friday. Here we go.
Yep. Friday all day. Get your free ticket online. You shop for free, 9 to 9 all day.
I love that you're closing on Thursday and Friday at 9 o'clock because for someone like me, my shift ends at 6. And there's all these parents that maybe have to pick up their child and it's after some soccer and they're able to make it.
Yep.
So I really appreciate that. It's really nice. And then we get to Saturday. Saturday is also a really, really, really big hot tip day.
Yes. So Saturday, again, just like Friday, free ticket online from 9 to 3 you can shop. And then the exciting part is starting at 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we have our half price pre-sale. You get a $5 ticket online and you can come get the first look on items that are tagged without a star, and those items go 50% off. So all the items with a star stay full price, but all the items without a star will go half price.
And you do have to get a ticket for that. So go to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com for that, because that's when it's already at 50 to 90% off the retail price. But then on Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock, it's another 50% off if you look at the tag closely and you see it doesn't have a star on it. It's unbelievable. And also, there's a line. Tell me about it.
Yes. A lot of people shop twice. They shopped early to get the first look, and then they also come back to see what items go 50%. And great deals, just great deals.
I've saved literally thousands of dollars. It's so fun. And it's such a great atmosphere. Don't you feel like it's a community?
Definitely. And that's why we got involved. It definitely is a community thing. It's people getting rid of those bins of clothing that their kids have outgrown and turning it into cash, and then helping families being able to provide for other families to buy clothing and other items at a reasonable price. So it's families helping families. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, the consigners can choose to donate their items if they don't want their items back. So we work with a charity partner, and then the items are donated.
I love
so
that.
It's a win-win-win for everybody.
We still have to get to Sunday. It's still going.
Yep.
Sunday. All day, any of the items that do not have a star on it, 50% off.
Right.
It continues on Sunday. And when are you open? What is Sunday like?
Sunday's crazy. Sunday's crazy because it's the last chance to get your items before, we close our sale. And we're open 9 to 4. And again, all the items that are marked without a star will go half price.
Go to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com to learn more. Julie Pergandy with Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. Please make sure, it only happens 2 times a year. It's the biggest pop-up sale where you can find gently used infant through teen clothes, toys, cribs, books, everything you can think of for your growing family at 50 to 90% off the retail price. Starts this Thursday, September 18th for the pre-sale where you get a first look, and runs through Sunday, September 21st at the Wisconsin State Fair Parks Expo Center. Head to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. Julie Pergandy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
If you happen to miss my conversation with former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh, it is being posted about Charlie Kirk, by the way. It's being posted on Facebook, WTMJ.com. I think we've got that on Twitter as well. Stick around. Right after the news, it's Reporter's Notebook with Adam Robertson at 11. I'm coming back with WTMJ Conversations. Today we talk with Chef Gregory Leon from Amalinda, and it's Brewers Warm Up and Noon right here on WTMJ.